Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another stream. Hope you guys are doing well. What's up, William? Where's Oliver? Well, maybe you might be joining us later. We'll have to find out. But yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Like always, if you're looking at any different charts, feel free to let us know. Drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look at it together. See if we've got any opportunities coming our way. But yeah, so first up, we're going to start with Euro USD. I mean, we're seeing a lot of momentum in the markets this morning, especially with the JPY pairs. We saw some news yesterday for the US dollar. Did cause a little bit of wicks to form, as you can see here on Euro USD. Big spike to the upside, then price came down. So obviously did take out a lot of people here selling from that resistance there, and as you can see, spike through that, and then we're seeing the conviction to the downside. So the news probably would have faked out a lot of people there yesterday, but our bias was the downside for Euro USD, and we're seeing that really come into action kind of overnight, really, to be fair. It's starting to retrace now, but yeah, it's still looking quite bearish. Like I said, for Euro USD, our bias is still to the downside, and we've got targets down here, this area of support. If I just take that across, you can see double bottom there, nice push to the upside, and that's why I think Euro USD is going to come and test, because there's a lot of liquidity just underneath this. Big push to the upside, nice double bottom, so we could come spike through that, maybe see some upside after that. So Euro USD, nonetheless, is still looking bearish here, and I'm still expecting more downside for this pair. We still do have this support here, but it's now going to be acting as resistance. So we could come back, retest that, and then come back down again. Something like that could be happening for Euro USD. But yeah, my bias is still to the downside for this one. I'm still seeing a test of kind of the 1.16200 area, sort of. Euro USD might come up, retest it, something like that, then fall, or might just fall, to be fair. But either way, I'm seeing more downside here for Euro USD. Still expecting more strength in the US dollar. Again, DXY, we saw that strength to the upside. I said yesterday we were expecting to see this liquidity get taken out. That double top there, nice dump again. And as we had this big push, price was quite likely to go and take out those highs there and push further on. So yeah, DXY still looking quite bullish here. If I go on the daily, you can see, I don't know if we might have done spike through that high. Yes, we have as well. So we spiked through that high, spiked through those highs. So price is still quite bullish, taking out those highs now. I'm not saying the market's ready to dump now. It might continue a little bit, then fall. But yeah, so far still looking bullish. Same thing for Euro USD as well. Still a little bit more downside there, maybe some upside, so maybe the DXY continues on a little bit more. But yeah, nonetheless, you can see with that 4H momentum there, price is still looking bullish. So DXY is still bullish. I'm not going to say it's going to go short now. Probably expect more upside from the DXY. I know a lot of pairs like AU and NU are very, very, very bearish recently. As you can see on the daily, we're breaking out this consolidation finally. Remember, when price does consolidate like this, we normally do see a big drop in price or a big spike in price, but just a big move depending on which direction price wants to move in. You can see it's happened over here as well. Consolidation, then a big drop to the downside, consolidation, a big fake out to the upside, and a big drop to the downside. So it happens quite a lot. The trick is just to catch it before it does, explode to the downside or to the upside. This one was a little bit difficult to catch because it was quite choppy in here, but we did get some nice little highs there that I just noticed. So we did get that break of the trend line as well, but as you can see, there's no like retest of anything, just a massive candle breaking through. Pretty sure that was news as well. So yeah, there's no way, unless you're going to enter after that candle for stop loss up there, probably in higher time frames. But on the lower time frames, like the 4H hourly, there's no real entry point with there when the news takes it down like that. But yeah, more downside for it ends. The USD still looking bearish here. AU's doing the exact same thing. As you can see, if I zoom out on the daily, we had nice consolidation, and price is just breaking out to the downside, and it's looking very bearish. We had that massive breakout from this consolidation, and that's just still going, and we'll probably we're probably heading to these lows here, this double bottom, same thing as Euro USD when we had this double bottom down here. And I think, especially with that momentum, you know, we're likely to come to that 0.7 area. So AU, from a higher time frame point of view, I'm expecting more downside, probably about to that 0.7 mark. So again, that is valuable information, because if we do start to retrace on the lower time frames, you know, we can get ready for you know, continue shorting the pair. And especially if the DXY still finds that strength, then we should be still, you know, pushing to the upside. Pound USD, the exact same thing as we were expecting yesterday as well, same as Euro. Expecting that dump to the downside. Again, we were looking quite bearish yesterday, and as you can see, had a nice break and retest of this support here. So support throughout there, break, retest with that bullish candle there yesterday, and now I've seen the conviction to the downside. So first target for pound USD was this support here. We're smashing through that, so I'm expecting pound USD to come back to these lows here, probably take them out as well. So yeah, pound USD, again, another pair that if we can get some retrace, that would be great. But yeah, I'm not too sure if you will get that with that momentum. I mean, we will get it, but you know, substantial retracement, something like this, and then take it down. We might get a little bit of consolidation and another drop, something like that. But yeah, it's important to stay on your toes, especially when the momentum looks like this as well. But yeah, more downside. I know William Euro and pound JPY on the daily, that one's really kicking off this morning. As you can see there, if we're going to 4H, that 4H candle there really kicked off to the downside, and is still looking quite bearish. And again, targets were this support down here, which I do expect price to go and hit soon, around 149,500. We're almost there, so we're probably going to hit that hopefully by the end of the week. Yeah, probably expecting to see this wick as well get taken out. Might not do that this week. I mean, with the momentum we're seeing now, it could do, but we might suffer some retracement before that happens. But anyway, pound JPY to the downside, expecting those lows to get taken out on 148,500. So again, if you do see any more retracement, we didn't see much retracement. We did see a bit of retracement there, but nothing, you know, nothing massive. If you can get a little bit more, that'd be great, and take that further to the downside. But anyway, pound JPY still looking bearish, pound USD looking bearish, looking for retracement and then capitalizing on some shorts. USD this one's looking quite bearish. I was looking at this pair yesterday, looking for some nice shorts. I missed this trade this morning. It happened pretty much just as I woke up. It came to, well, the first area I was looking at to get short for USD was this area here, price support, now turn resistance. I was looking short there during the live stream, but we broke through that, so I didn't get involved. And the next area I was looking at was this area here, and as you can see, nice resistance there, support there. We came and hit that level to the T pretty much, and that happened pretty much as I woke up and price was already pushing on. So I just said I was going to wait for some retracement. This one's still pushing on, so yeah, still going to wait for that retracement, because for me, USD still has a long way to go. I'm expecting price to come back to these lows here. Again, we're on Thursday now, so I don't think by the end of the week we'll be there. So this trade might carry on to next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whenever it does complete the move. But yeah, we've had some nice healthy pullbacks. See, this is the healthy pullback I was looking at for the other JPY pairs, but you can see we didn't really get that. USD has given us that a nice push to the 0.618. So nice healthy retracement. Now we're really seeing momentum come through. So if I can look for a potential move up, lower high, something like that, maybe a retest of that support there. We just zoom in, a retest of that support there as resistance. That would be nice. And then yeah, take it down to those lows there. So the risk reward looks good. Missed the first entry there, but you can always pull back and get a second entry to the downside. But yeah, USD is looking good for shorts here. It's looking very, very bearish, especially with all that momentum. That really does show, that really does tell me that the momentum is to the downside, that the bears are in control of this market. And all I have to do is just wait for a pullback patiently and then get involved in one. So we'll be looking at that for USD. I'm still in a gold trade. This one seems to be really struggling to push through. We've seen some nice downside since when I got in yesterday. I think my entry was around here-ish, stops just above there. So I've locked in some partials, but price is kind of moving sideways. So I'm not too confident about this trade, but we'll see what happens. If it starts breaking through this, I might just start to scale out the position. Starts breaking through that resistance, yeah, I might start to scale out because price has been respecting that resistance quite nicely. And if it starts to break through that, it might mean that gold wants to push on a little bit further. So we'll see what happens with that one. Again, my TP for this one was down here-ish. So we hit the first area of take profit, which was here. So partials were secured there, but again, we haven't pushed onto that second one and we've turned around. Maybe I could have moved stop loss to break even, but it was just a bit too close for me, so I decided to give the trade a little bit of room. So we'll see what happens. If you can reject that, there can actually be a second entry there, to be fair. If we can reject that, come back down again with the momentum that we saw, I think that was last night, to be fair. Saw last night, then we could get involved in some more shorts. But yeah, gold is not filling me too much confidence looking at price action, because we've seen some nice conviction down, but every time we do come down, we see conviction back up again. So the bears are trying to pull it down, but the bulls are not backing down quite easily. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, USD/JPY is kind of the main pair I'm focusing on. I was looking at the other JPY pairs, but they've really kicked off. You can see pound JPY kicked off pretty much all at the same time as well, just as I was waking up. So kind of missed all those entries there. But the only thing with USD/JPY is that this one's still got a lot more downside in terms to that previous low over there. Whereas a lot of the other JPY pairs, Euro JPY, Pound JPY, are coming into the lows much closer, as in there's not that much pips to catch anymore. But there still is, but the risk reward might not be the best. And CAD JPY as well, that's coming right back down to these lows as well. So yeah, pretty much all kicked off at the same time. So if you miss one entry, you miss all. But yeah, that is quite common, to be fair, especially with the JPY pairs. They all tend to have their big moves at the same time. USD CAD, we saw a nice big push to the upside. This one's flying to the upside. We're looking at this one yesterday, saying if we can hold above 1.26, there'll be some good buys there. And we were holding above 1.26, and you can see the momentum. I was only expecting price to, come to this area here before it starts to find some trouble. However, USD CAD, just broke through that, all that momentum overnight, pretty much. I'm pretty sure, yeah, overnight, and now we're back at these highs up here. So, yeah, USD CAD is looking very, very bullish right now. Very bullish here. Probably most likely going to take out those highs there with that wick up there. So that's probably where USD CAD is headed to now. So I think if we do see some downside for USD CAD, it's just probably another opportunity to get involved in some longs for this one. Something like that. Maybe come back into that area and then take out those highs, or we could just push on, to be fair. The momentum is definitely there with USD CAD right now. But yeah, we've seen some lot of momentum in the markets this week. Again, we had some fundamental news, but again, a lot of it is in the direction of technicals. So yeah, USD CAD, if you can get some retracement, that would be great, but I'm expecting a lot more upside for this pair. CAD is really weak right now, as we saw with CAD JPY flying to the downside, very close to making some new lows as well. We've got the wick down there, so very close to making some new lows. Same with CAD CHF, I believe. As you can see, this one probably has made new lows, or very close to. So yeah, very close to. So the momentum is still there for CAD to the downside, and hence we are seeing a lot of pairs like EuroCAD fly to the upside again for this one. We had a nice break and retest of that support there, broke through, retest. Now we're seeing a continuation, and Pound CAD as well. Another pair that I did say could be good for some buys if we come back for the retest, and we did now fly into the upside. And again, all of this is really helped from that CAD weakness. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll obviously that CAD weakness continue. So yeah, USD CAD, Pound CAD, Euro CAD, I'm expecting a lot more upside for those pairs. Again, Pound CAD, we got this wick here, pretty sure we'll probably take that out. And that wick there, I'm pretty sure we'll take that out eventually. Maybe not this week, but next week sometime. If we keep that momentum up, we probably will. So yeah, retracement on that and further continuation does look good. Yeah, I mean, I do use my own weekend analysis anyway, to be fair. So I do look at my analysis because at the end of the day, it is my own analysis, to be fair. So I do use it in the market. But yeah, I do. Euro pound, we're seeing some momentum to the upside, as you can see here. Big 4H candle there. We were holding this daily trend line, but it looks like we're finally getting a break of this trend line now. As you can see, price was pushing to the downside, and as you can see, looks like we're breaking through this for euro pound. I mean, I'm not gonna say we're breaking through this because we still got 11 hours left before that daily candle closes, and we could pull back or we could, continue. But with the momentum that we're seeing in the 4H, it looks like we will continue. But again, I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, if euro pound can get close above this trend line, the only time it did that previously was over there. And then as you can see, we had that false break, price came right back in, and now potentially closing above it again. So maybe this time we could actually have the breakout for euro pound and just see a mad push to the upside back to these highs here, because all this price action is very choppy, and I think it's just accumulating orders. And now he's taking out these lows here as well. We could be getting ready for a big move for euro pound to the upside, because all this choppy price action does need to relieve itself somehow, some way. But yeah, that could be something to look at for euro pound, a nice uptrend, buying those pullbacks. But yeah, I'd wait for a daily candle to close above that to confirm it, because often we see price just pull back. Even yesterday, even the day before yesterday and yesterday as well, we're trading above it, but did pull back as well. So definitely wait for candle closure then the daily, but we could be seeing a big move for euro pound coming up. Thank you. I mean, Euro USD is probably one of the pairs that I do enjoy analyzing, and it does kind of fit the way I trade the best. So I think Euro USD probably is or has my highest success rate, or best trades on. And yeah, I find it a lot easier to trade as well, because it's not as volatile or as erratic as some of the other pairs. So I can take my time with it and really focus. So yeah, I do enjoy analyzing Euro USD, and yeah, probably one of my better pairs to trade. But yeah, sometimes I do get it horribly wrong as well, which is only a lesson in itself, to be fair. So I mean, yeah, why JPY sells off? I mean, I don't think we had any fundamentals. If I go check now, I don't think we had any fundamentals for JPY this morning, or did we? Because I haven't checked. No, we didn't. Yeah, I mean, it could just be technicals having their say, to be fair, because for most JPY pairs, they are trending to the downside. Quite heavily. CAD JPY trending to the downside. CHF sort of trying to trend to the downside. Euro JPY trending to the downside. Pound JPY, they're all trending to the downside. So they're just continuing their trend. Really, they're just continuing their trend. I mean, I don't get too much involved in fundamentals, as you probably already know. So if it's not on the economic calendar and it's not really in mainstream news, I probably wouldn't even really know about it. So for me, the trend is to the downside, and I do expect to see momentum in that direction, and simply that's just what we're seeing now. So yeah, it's just seeing the trend continue, and I think it'll continue a lot more as well. But speaking of news, we do have some USD news coming out in about 3 hours time. Again, 1:30 GMT. We've got some initial jobless claims coming out, high impact as well for the US dollar. So again, I mean, more news, same time as well, might see an impact. Yesterday we didn't see too much of impact, I believe, at 1:30. Or did we? It was more the 7 p.m. GMT news, FOMC for the US dollar. That's where we did see quite a lot of volatility coming out for Euro USD. As you can see, we did see a nice spike to the upside there. Drop to the hourly, nice spike to the upside there. I think that was that news as well. Yeah, 7 p.m. So yeah, that really did have an impact. You can imagine a lot of people would have been taken out if they're looking to short that, or would have been caught on the wrong side if they looked to buy that that candle as it pulled back and then dumped to the downside. So yeah, I would imagine to see something again coming out 1:30. Maybe nothing too major, but we could be seeing something. So again, do watch out for that. If you are trading any US dollar pairs, I mean, I'm looking to get involved in USD/JPY here, so we'll see what happens there. But I'm not too sure if I get an entry before 1:30 because I want to see this one retrace quite healthily. Healthily. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, I want to see that one trace before I do get involved, and this is very impulsive to the downside there for USD/JPY. So I do want to see some upside, some wicks rejection, and then I'll look to get an entry. I'm not too sure if I'll get that in about 2.5 hours time, so that might be an entry for Friday or next week. We'll see what happens there, but nonetheless, USD/JPY back down to the lows is looking like a good opportunity there. Yeah, a lot of these pairs are looking bearish. These JPY pairs, Euro JPY, Pound JPY, starting to see some pullbacks, which is good. But overall, I'm expecting them to probably continue to the downside as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be short-lived, giving us some more entries to get in some shorts and take it to the downside, because they all happen at one point pretty much. So if you didn't get in beforehand, you wouldn't have got in. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I think for all these JPY pairs, I'm just expecting more downside for them. Euro USD is still expecting a move back down to those lows over there. And I do think we can get those moves, to be fair. Again, I don't think it will happen before the week ends, because we've had quite a substantial drop already this week. Price might want to move to the upside a little bit before we do get a continuation. And if that's the case, that's great, because it gives an opportunity to get involved in some more shorts to the downside for that one. But yeah, overall, Euro USD still looking at more downside for that pair. Pound CHF still looking very, very bearish here. As you can see, a massive 4H candle, so it's clear to see that pound is definitely to the upside, but CAD is actually quite weak right now, so that one's moving up to the upside right now. But yeah, pound overall is quite weak right now. So yeah, I'm expecting more downside for a lot of these pairs, for these pound pairs. Pound CHF were quite close to these lows here. We came back for a nice retest of this level here. As you can see, support, now turn resistance, and then yeah, sold off to the downside. So yeah, pound CHF expecting a price to come take out those lows, and yeah, probably start to see a bit of a bearish trend for this pair, because you can see on the daily for this one, we've had all of this build up price action, and we're soon going to break out. I believe it's the downside, looking at that price action, and we should be seeing quite a substantial move to the downside here for pound CHF, because what we've seen recently is when we do have these big build-ups, we do normally see a big relief of all of that congestion, all of that ranging price action, like we saw for AUD/USD and the USD. So yeah, I think a big drop could be happening soon for pound CHF. So on those pullbacks, I reckon it could be really inviting as well. Probably be a little bit more risky as well with pound CHF, with that breakout. Try and stretch the trade a little bit more, because I feel like if we are going to have that breakout, next obvious place, logical place for price to go is probably this area here, which is probably around almost 200 pips away, and then potentially even here as well, which is probably about 300. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot more downside for pound CHF. Euro CHF, we already saw that downside kind of already happen. It could still continue, but massive move to the downside has already happened. If I go in the higher time frames, weekly and monthly as well, you can see we really fallen to the downside there. And from a monthly point of view, probably looks like we're coming back down to those lows. So maybe that trend does continue a lot longer. And pound CHF does follow on. So yeah, I think pound CHF could be a good trade, especially for the long-term traders. If you're looking at getting into a move and really milking it, I think pound CHF could be the one for you. USDJPY does look good as well. I think USDJPY long-term could be coming back down to this area here. But for me, the move I'm trying to get or take advantage of is this move here to the downside, back into those lows there, looking for a bit of a retracement, which we are getting so far. I'm not sure if I get an entry before the news. I won't want to enter on the news though. So if the news does come and I'm not ready in the trade, I'll just let it be, let price settle, maybe get in later on, maybe later in the New York session, or tomorrow in London, and then we'll see what happens. USD CAD, we saw an aggressive sell-off as well. USD CAD's a bit of a funny one here because we're holding this support here quite well, but I'm not too sure if USD CHF wants to break to the downside or break to the upside here. We've respected this resistance quite well, but we could always come back and try and break through it again. And we've also respected that support quite well, so I'm not too sure. Overall, you can see we are kind of trending to the downside, push, pullback, push, potentially another pullback, double top, push back down maybe. So overall, I think downside could be the way for USD CHF, but I probably want to see that support get broken first, and then you can get involved in some pullbacks to the downside. Overall, kind of trapped in between a key area of support and a key area of resistance. I'm not really too keen getting involved in trades here. Probably want to either buy from there or sell from there. But yeah, where price is now, I'm probably just going to leave it alone. It's looking like price wants to continue to the downside anyway though, especially with that price action there. So we might be seeing, price start to relieve itself, lower high, something like that, then take it down, maybe something like a head and shoulders there, come back, retest that previous shoulder, and then sell off. That could be a potential opportunity there. But as of right now, like I said, I'm not really too much of a fan getting involved in the trade when it's just between those two levels. Prefer to buy from one or sell from the other, rather than try and guess it in there. So yeah, I think I'll let USD break out one of those two levels, show me the direction, and then I think I can be a lot more confident in where I do expect price to go, and getting into some trades as well. NZD CAD, we've had a nice sell-off this week as well. I'm expecting more upside for NZD CAD this week. We did see a little bit, but then the news came in and we've been pushing to the downside here. So NZD CAD is looking quite bearish here. Overall, it's had a real good attempt at trying to break through this resistance here multiple times, and it's failed to do so. So I think for NZD CAD, we could be trying to turn bearish here again. Was expecting that resistance to eventually break, but I think we could be coming back down to these lows down here, especially with that price action there for NZD CAD. So I think for this one, because we are coming into some support, you can see it here on the 4H. If you can push up, that would be great. Form a lower high and then push back down. I think that swing will be a really nice move there. Come back up, retest that price support there, now turn resistance. That will be nice. Opportunity to get involved, take that down to around the 0.86 area down there. So NZD CAD, I was bullish at the start of the week, but yeah, definitely bearish now, especially after that momentum there. We've tried to break through this resistance multiple times, and now we're starting to form our first major lower high there on the daily. So yeah, I think if we just continue this, we should be at that 0.86 level. Maybe by the end of next week probably. So I think this trade is probably one for next week. There could be some nice short-term buys to the upside there from this level here. Really strong support. Did fund this big move to the upside. So I think some nice buys from there potentially towards the end of the week. Maybe New York or London tomorrow, because it's looking a little bit bearish now. But if you do hold that, seeing some upside, and then could be some nice opportunities to take it back down again. yeah, entity CAD looking like it might be turning bearish in the higher time frames. Pound AUD, massive push to the upside again for this one. We had a nice double bottom here start of last week, and we had that bias to the upside. And as you can see, we had a massive rocket to the upside, taking out these highs here. And prices really shot to the upside, especially you can see the weakness in the AU. And yeah, we're really climbing to the upside with this one. Got a big kind of accumulation of price here, and prices relieving that to the upside as well. So, you know, this kind of same thing that I was talking about with pound CHF, but in the opposite way. And we're seeing a lot of momentum there. Pound NZD as well was bearish on this one. However, as you can see, it's really flying to the upside here. So I think we'll probably see price push into these highs up there. Maybe take out that wick as well. So yeah, I think retracement on that. More upside there for pound NZD. Overall, we are seeing just a lot of NZD weakness in these in the pairs so far. Euro NZD, another pair flying to the upside. Euro AUD as well. So yeah, we're just seeing a lot of NZD and AUD weakness, which is again affecting these pairs pushing up. So you know, if anything, I'll probably just wait for some retracement, then get back in. I wouldn't try and sell that, even though we're quite extended. We could see some downside, but it's just a bit too aggressive for me, especially when the trend is up as well. If the trend was down and we saw a massive move like that, then yes, that would be a nice place to sell. But especially when the trend's up, it's probably not the most high probability trade there. So probably wait for retrace if anything. But yeah, Euro AUD, Pound AUD, Pound NZD, and Euro NZD are just all looking bullish, and all the NZD and AUDs are looking bearish here. So yeah, the main pair I'm focusing on this week is USD/JPY. See if we can get a nice push to the downside for this one. Again, I want to see some retracement, either break and retest of that level there. That would be nice. But we did see quite a drop there this morning. I did miss the entry there. You know, dropped pretty much as soon as I woke up. So I did miss that one. Same with pretty much every other JPY pair. But if we can get some nice retracement on this one, which looks like we could be getting, and then we could stop seeing thank you, William. Thank you for joining, though. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you on this channel, mate. We appreciate you on this channel. Take care. We'll have a nice day as well. But yeah, most of those USD pairs have gone. So we're going to look for some retracement on the USD/JPY, and then we can take this down. But yeah, it's not looking too good here. It's not too good. Wish could have got in earlier, but won't always happen. Gold still in that trade. Going to see how that gets on. It's still at the same barrier that I said. If we can hold that, I'll remain in the trade. But if price does actually start breaking through that, I'll probably look to exit the trade there, because we've shown some nice respect to that area, kind of that 1788 area. And if we do reject it again, you know, there's a good chance price will probably just reject that, come back down and hit that area down there, 1765. Really nice area of support. But if we start breaking through that resistance, I'll probably just look to exit, because we've seen some nice sell-offs, but the bulls are not backing down at all. So we'll see how this trade gets on. So you can get that to the downside, and then yeah, USD/JPY is the pair I'm focusing on right now for some more downside. Pound USD and Pound JPY, I'm also looking at those pairs as well for some retracement and continuation. But yeah, a lot needs to happen before I can get involved there. So yeah, just waiting for some retracement there, and then could get involved in some nice shorts. Something like this could happen. I'm not going to set an order there, but I'm just waiting to see pricing come there, reject, and then get involved. Stops above there, and then take it down to those lows. So yeah, right now in gold, if anyone wants me to look at any different pairs, feel free to let me know, drop it down in the chat. I'll take a look at those pairs for you. If you've got any pairs on your watch list or any pairs you want my opinion on, just leave it down in the chat. Or if you're in any trades as well, feel free to share. I'm currently in gold, looking for a move to the downside here. Got in yesterday, but price had a hard time pushing down. So I think for this one, if we do break through the resistance prices at now, I'll probably look to exit gold. I really did take some partials from this area here, but my target was 1764, sort of the area down there. So we'll see how gold gets on. USJPY is the pair that I'm now focusing on for some shorts, but yeah, nothing there yet. If I had to take a trade today, which pair would I do it? Well, I'm waiting for USJPY, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that will be today. I mean, yeah, it probably would be USJPY, but I'll probably take something like that. Stops above there and then downside. I mean, you're probably talking about more on the lower time frames. Let's see. I mean, I think today is the best day for it, because a lot of the pairs that I will be looking to trade have already seen a lot of movement to the downside, which are the JPY pairs really. Euro USD is pulling back, so maybe if you can look for some shorts for something like this, break and retest of that to take it back down. Euro USD maybe. But at the end of the day, you don't have to take a trade today. If there's not a setup, don't try and force it. No, that's how you lose. That's how you lose your money. So if there's nothing there, you don't have to. But yeah, I wouldn't say I would take anything right now. Hey, new subscriber, welcome to the gang. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, guys, if you're looking at any different pairs, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I'll give you some analysis on those pairs. Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Pound JPY sell. Yeah, pound JPY. Yeah, we've had a massive push to the downside for this one. Again, pound JPY was expected to sell off yesterday. Kind of missed the entry on this one because I was just waking up when prices started to sell off, so missed trades on that one. But nonetheless, I do expect to see this wick down here getting taken out for pound JPY. So I'm still expecting a lot more downside for pound JPY, some retracement, whatever, and then a move to the downside. We've really had quite an aggressive sell-off, so I'm waiting for price to retrace. We do have price support there, so we could have a break and retest potentially, or you might break further to the upside, because remember we had quite a big drop there. 50% is there, 0.618 is there, so you could see retracement all up to around here before we do start to sell off. But yeah, pound JPY looks like a good sell for me once it's finished this retracement, and then I'm expecting a push back down to the 148,400, 148,500 area. So more downside for pound JPY this week. We probably won't get there by the end of the week though, so you could look to maybe target the 149 psychological level, just a bit above. But yeah, I think more downside for pound JPY. I think we're just in retracement mode here. Quite a big sell-off there to the downside, and I think we're going to see more downside coming into the rest of the day and tomorrow as well. So yeah, a bit of retracement, and then yeah, further downside. If you're going to look at the sell it now, your stop loss does have to be above here, because we haven't formed any structure yet. You need to form some structure, some wicks, and then you can put your stop loss above that. But right now, we are looking quite bearish here. yeah, I wasn't looking at my charts at 8 9 p.m. Yeah, I wasn't on the charts then, so I wouldn't have known. Yeah, I do take trades before the weekend. Not often, but I do. If it's a good opportunity, I won't turn it down. I will take a trade before the weekend. I did take CHF JPY last weekend, just before the weekend closed. I shorted the pair. I shorted the pair over here for this move to the downside. I was looking for price to go a little bit further though. But yeah, I did short this move downside to the downside last weekend. So yeah, I do take trades before the weekend closes. I mean, weekend happens. I can hold a trade over the weekend. I mean, if it's a good opportunity, won't say no to a good opportunity. In pound USD sell. Okay, let's go pound USD. Okay, so pound USD sell. Yeah, I'm expecting to see some type of retracement from this one. I think because we have moved into this daily area of support here. As you can see, we have this nice double bottom here. So 1, 2, a massive move to the upside. Now we just push back into that area. So yeah, I'm expecting some type of reaction from here. I think 50% there. We do have support and resistance here as well. So I think the place that makes the most sense for pound USD to retrace to could be this, and then the continuation and break and retest of that support around the 1.37250 mark. So 1.37250, we might push into there, and then we might just see some more downside from there. But break and retest there, and then I think maybe a dump to 1.36. So yeah, I mean, depends where your stop loss is, but I think I can see price coming back up to here, maybe even further as well, because we had quite a big move. Hey Cregan, yeah, I do. Well, first, welcome to the channel, and welcome to the Telegram as well. Happy to have you. And yeah, I do have a tutorial for that. I do have a YouTube video that I've done quite a while back actually. So yeah, I think I'll post the link to you in the chat now if I can find it. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's the link for the video in the chat there. Okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, yeah, it depends where your stop loss is. If your stop loss is protected there, you should be fine, because we could come up. We could come up and reject this area here and then come back down. So yeah, it does look good. If you push past, yeah, we might do that, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it's only an hourly candle. You know, the next hourly candle could just come bearish and push right through there. But we'll see what happens there for pound USD. Yeah, it's not going too bad to be fair. I had a small position on USD CAD yesterday. I did get in quite early, so I didn't have a full position on this one. But yeah, I had a nice trade from here. Got out around here because I was thinking this area of supply could reject us, but we actually flew past that. So good trade in USD CAD. Gold is messing around here. I've taken some partials here for gold. It's kind of just moving sideways. So yeah, I said that I'll probably look to exit gold if we break through that resistance there, because I did catch this trade yesterday from there. We did move quite nicely, came back again overnight, came back again, straight to this area, which was my first area for partials, and then I was looking at this area for my second TP, but I'm not too sure what price will get there. So still in this gold sell. If it does break through that level, I'll probably just look to just cut my losses there. Because if it does break through that, the chances it probably will come up and hit my stop loss, so I'll just get out of the trade anyway. But if you can hold that, that would be nice, and see another push back down again. But yeah, I'm not too sure with that one, but we'll see what happens there for gold. And USJPY looking to get involved in that trade there as well. Take that downside back down to the 108.730 mark, but we'll see how that gets on, because we might not actually retrace into that, because even though we've had that bullish candle, we could still open up quite bearish in the next one and really pull away. You can see all that momentum there. It is quite bearish, and it could just continue a lot further, but still looking for that retracement for USJPY to take it back down again, and yeah, back down into those lows down there. Yeah, sure, no problem. Happy to help. I think Euro USD is in retracement mode as well. Respect that level. We might fall to the downside as well. Euro JPY, we did see quite an aggressive fall off to the downside again. Another JPY pair. No surprise there for that one. DXY still looking. Oh no, it's retracing. To be fair, was looking bullish, but now we're seeing some downside. Probably that's why we're seeing some upside, for pound USD, Euro USD as well. Makes sense. USD CHF still looking bearish, but I'll probably leave that one alone. Not too sure about that one. Stuck between key level resistance and support. When I see one of them break, and then I'll know which way we could be trending to. We've just seen that hourly candle close there, for those pairs. I mean, pound USD, a little bit of a bullish candle there, but I don't think anything too much to worry about there. The momentum is still firmly with the bears there. I still do see pound USD getting to that 1.36 mark, this support here. So yeah, I still can see a break of that area, take us to there. Might see more retracement, yes, but I don't think anything major. I think if we do see that retracement, like I said, another excuse to get into some shorts to take it back down again. Same with pound JPY, pound CHF as well, probably. Euro USD pushing up there. Nothing major really. So yes, we've pulled up a little bit there for Euro USD, but looking at the higher time frames, we know where we're heading to here. I mean, yesterday was a doji. We didn't really break through that, so I think if this candle does pull back up and actually close bullish, it might mean that this support is holding and we could see a bit of upside first. So yeah, I think it's important to see how the daily candle closes for a lot of these pairs coming into tomorrow, especially pairs like Euro Pound, seeing if we can hold above that trend line there. Last time we had a daily close above that trend line, we had this nice breakout to the upside. So maybe we might be seeing, a similar price action happen again. Maybe not necessarily the false breakout, but if you can hold above that, that'll be key. Because if you can hold above, we might actually be seeing the breakout this time, and a big move for Euro Pound. Because I thought that was going to happen here, but it didn't. We came straight back down. Obviously, it was a fake move, but we could be talking about the real deal. But like I said, for a lot of these candles that look bullish or bearish quite early on, we still do have 10 hours left or 11 hours left before this candle does close. So you can see the past two candles there were looking quite bullish. Pull back, pull back. We could pull back again. So we'll see how the daily candle closes, and then we'll make our judgment for Euro Pound after that. If we do pull back and close beneath that trend line, yeah, sales will be looking good for tomorrow. But if they don't, I think on the retracement, can just get involved in some buys to the upside. But overall, pound is, like I said, looking a little bit weak. Gold just about still holding that resistance there. Yeah, if you go and break it on the next candle, I mean that if the candle does break through, it could actually go and hit my stop loss, to be fair. But if we do break through, it close like above there, I'll probably just look to exit that trade completely, because it's kind of failing to break resistance and failing to hold that resistance. And we've had two attempts now at kind of really trying to pull to the downside, and we failed to do that. So we might be having a third attempt, but if nothing happens, I'll just probably leave that alone. The falling knife on ADC chef. What's a falling knife? Because ADC chef absolutely tanked to the downside this week. Wow, yeah, massive move actually. I did not realise that. Big move. Because that's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So the week started here and we've flown to the downside. So yeah, colossal move there. Yeah, that's the thing about these CHF pairs. They when they move, they move, but when they don't move, they don't move. Like they just wick and sideways. You can see all this price action there, all that price action there, very choppy. But when they move, they do give you big candles, and that's definitely happened this week. I mean, I think a lot of people to try to buy this pair, to be fair. A lot of people to try and buy this pair and got taken out, because I'm not going to lie, I think the last time I looked at ADC Chef, we were trading around here, coming up here from either last week or the week before. And I was thinking that maybe it is time for price to start to reverse after a massive downtrend. I mean, we didn't really get too much sign it was going to reverse, but I just thought maybe it's going to reverse. And then, yeah, now I'm looking at it, it's looking very bearish. So I think a lot of people at this area here as well, we did start to consolidate as well. People might have tried to got in there. So yeah, I think a lot of people have tried to buy this and got taken out. I mean, as long as you guys use stop loss and you manage your risk, losing trades happen all the time, so it shouldn't be too much of a worry. Yeah, looking at the higher time frames is definitely a key element for me. Um, yeah, pretty much all my trades are just based on a multi-time frame analysis. So I find the best trades normally when you're in sync with multiple time frames. And especially like a lot of times, when we do see momentum like this, you know, I'm not gonna go try and buy against that. Not trying to like jump to the hourly, 4 hourly, 50 minute, and try and buy against that on the lower time frames when I'm seeing that on the daily. Because all that momentum is just so bearish. I know, yes, here, it probably worked eventually, but it's kind of a guesswork here because you don't know when it's going to move, and it can sell you false hope really easily on the lower time frames. It can look like it's going to turn bullish, but then it just kicks in because of the higher time frames just taking that to the downside. Sent to the gulag. And we all go gulag. As long as you win your fight in the gulag, it doesn't really matter. We've all been there. I mean, gold is trying to send me to the gulag right now. If it breaks through that resistance, yeah, I'll look to exit. But so far it's holding, but I'm not sure if that momentum looks like it won't. USJPY, I'm still trying to get involved there, take that to the downside. Retracement looks like it's looking good, so if you can get some healthy retracement there, some nice wicks about, nice break and retest, something like that, that would be nice. And then let's get involved, take that back down to 108,700. No, I don't. I just use my plain stop loss as it is. Are any of you guys in any trades as well? I know a couple of you guys are in any trades. I mean, feel free to share. We all get taken out in trades, don't you, bro? No judgment zone here. I mean, I'm pretty sure this gold trade is going to be a losing trade as well. So, we all lose trades as well. Important things to get back up, keep going. Make sure you're not risking 50% of your account on the trade, because if that does lose, then obviously you're going to feel quite bad. But if you can manage your risk, keep it at 1-2, max 3%. Keep your psychology under control. Euro USD buy, interesting there from you. Euro USD buy. Euro USD, I'm actually bearish on this one. I'm probably expecting you got into Euro USD on the lower time frames. I mean, hourly, we're looking quite bullish there, so it looks like you should be in some nice healthy profit there. We are pushing to the upside. I did say for Euro USD, we might retrace to this area here, so kind of the 1.17050, which is, if I go in the higher time frames, like the daily, you can see it's just simply that support they're taking across. So Euro USD buys in the low time frame does look good, but do be aware the momentum in the higher time frames is to the downside. So make sure you're taking your partials, because we could flip bearish quite quickly. But yeah, it's looking like a good move there. It's looking like a good move there, but I think we'll probably look to retrace soon come. We might see a little bit more upside back into this zone here, or maybe a retest of that resistance up there and then come down. So do be aware of that. The momentum is quite bearish on the higher time frames, but yeah, we've seen a nice push up there. as long as you're taking your partials, because it does look like you probably will be in profit. I don't know where you've entered, to be fair. Might have just entered right now, but I think a little bit more upside, but then we could turn bearish, so I will be aware of that if I was you. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it, to be fair. It looks like it. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about trading. Two people can look at the same chart, and well, it's not the same chart, Euro USD and Pound USD, but similar charts, and have different biases. But a lot of it is down to the time frames, because I probably would expect to see Rosa might be trading on a different time frame to you. And to be fair, Euro USD is actually looking a little bit bullish compared to Pound, because Euro is, well, Pound is quite weak right now, as you can see for Euro Pound there. Obviously, Euro big push up there for Euro GBP, so Euro is clearly a lot stronger than the Pound. So you're selling the better pair, to be fair, because you don't want to be selling Euro USD, especially with that move there. We'd rather sell Pound USD, which is actually seeing some weakness. So yeah, you're definitely selling the better pair, and Rose is definitely buying the better pair for your two biases. I mean, I just hope no one's buying ADUSD, because that one has fallen out of the sky. So yeah, I just hope no one's buying that one. Because that one is looking very, very bearish. And the USD, similar thing there as well. I mean, I don't like taking reversals, because my success rate on reversal is a lot lower than continuation. So I do like to focus on continuations, just wait for the first move to happen, then get in on the lower high or the higher low or whatever on the retracement, and then take the trade. So that's kind of what I try to focus on for my trades. Reversals, I did try to trade quite a lot of them last year, but yeah, it wasn't too good for me. The continuations were a lot better, so I'm just going to start focusing more of them anyway. So yeah, I'll just wait for price to turn bullish for these USD pairs, then I'll look to buy. But for right now, they're all bearish, so I'll just wait for opportunities to sell these pairs. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the ADUSD bulls will probably be a lot of newbies just starting to get in for Forex, which is, I mean, at one point it was all of us. We all had to start somewhere. But yeah, definitely learnt my lesson back in the day, trying to buy, pairs that look like this. Tried to buy it multiple times where I'll get into a buy, get stopped out, get back in a buy, stopped out, get back in a buy, stopped out, get back in a buy, stopped out. Do that like 3-4 times, and that definitely does drive you crazy, because you just like, it has to turn at one point, but no, it just doesn't. It just keeps falling. So yeah, definitely been there multiple times. So yeah, now I just trade continuations really. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. Profits again. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I hope I see you again next week as well for the live stream, and yeah, hopefully you can check out the video on Saturday as well for the analysis this week. But yeah, thanks again for joining the stream. Hope you all, not all, hope you have a good day, because the stream's not over yet. Still got 45 minutes, but I hope you have a good day. Oof, unlucky there. That must have hurt. Was that quite early on in your Forex journey, or was that recently? Yeah, I've definitely done stuff like that before. It just keeps breaking those levels and you keep trying to sell back down again. Yeah, definitely been there with that one. I mean, the good thing is though, you just learn your lesson. Hopefully, learn from your lesson. Not wait, learn from your lesson. Yeah, learn from your lesson. Thought I was saying that wrong. Um, and then yeah, just don't take it. I mean, there's a good thing like you can always when you make mistakes, as long as they're not the same one, you're progressing. If you keep making the same mistake, then that's on you. But if you make a mistake, learn from that mistake, new mistake, learn from that mistake, then yeah, you're moving in the right direction. But yeah, we've definitely been in that one, in that situation before. Gold is still teasing me. We'll see what happens there. USJPY still looking at retracement, take that down. Pound USD overall still looking quite bearish there. Euro USD still in retracement mode. Euro JPY still looking quite bearish as well. DXY overall still very bullish, but a little bit of retracement going on there. CHF JPY a little bit choppy this pair. Not the biggest fan of it. And AUD/USD still falling out the sky. Okay. I mean, yeah, you just started trading seriously, so hiccups will still be happening. I mean, you only started trading seriously 2 months ago, so it's still fairly new to it then as well. Still got a lot of learning, still got a lot of bumps on the road to go. But yeah, that's all part of it. Like always, guys, if you're looking at any pairs, feel free to let us know. We'll take a look at them together, see what's going on. You guys might be looking at like the 5 minute or 15 minute or 3 minute or whatever time frame you're trading. So feel free to let us know what time frame you're trading on as well, so I can look in a bit more detail for you guys. As I know some of you do like to trade on the small time frames. Yeah, sure. We'll take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin. I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so Bitcoin, obviously, mad push to the upside we've seen recently. We'll come back into this area here of price support, now term resistance here on the higher time frame. So we've seen a bit of reaction from that level. On the 4H time frame, we're running out a bit of energy here. You can see we've had nice push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, and we're starting to form these lower highs. So the market is running out of steam. Right now, we're coming into some support though, which is kind of like a last, well, it is a last higher low of the market. Push, pullback, higher low, push up, higher high. So we're coming back into this level now. So for Bitcoin, sales were looking good, you know, when we were having those pullbacks here and there. But now sales are not looking too good. Obviously, you know, price could still break through the area, tapped into the higher time frame key level of resistance, so that could send us to the downside. But it's just not a good place to buy in into, which is this higher low area, because price could, you know, trend to the upside, pull back into that previous higher low, and then continue to the upside. That is very poorly drawn. If I redraw that, and then form a double bottom there, which is what price could do. So do have to respect price is still in a bullish trend overall in the higher time frames. We do have a bearish trend here in the 4H, and now tap back into that support. So I think for this one, if you see some upside, then yes, set it back down again, back into that support, but might have to look to exit your trade there. If price does look like it might break through, then yeah, Bitcoin could see a lot more downside. We do have prior resistance here, which could be coming back for a retest, kind of like the bigger high before we had that bigger dip. So the price would come back and retest that level around the 42k mark. So that could be on the cards there for Bitcoin. If we go in the hourly time frame, you can see we already did see that retracement. So yeah, I think for this one, if you can push further up to the upside, because I don't really want to sell into that. It's not the best place to sell into. So if you could push further up, you know, back into this resistance here, reject it, nice wick, something like that, then come down, and you've got some nice pips to catch between, you know, your place of entry, your price of entry, and that support. You know, you can catch those pips, and then if you want to push the trade a little bit more, then you can probably look at this 42k mark down there, which is obviously lining up with that daily area there as well. So Bitcoin is looking like it wants to turn bearish, but it's not quite there yet. It's coming into that last higher low. If it breaks through that, then we should be looking bearish. But yeah, I think for this one, some retracement to the upside would be nice. Give us some distance between, you know, that support and our entry. Take it down to that area, then even further than that potentially. But yeah, we'll come into that key level on the daily. So if Bitcoin does want to see some downside, you know, from this level is where it probably could happen, and you know, we could be pushing back down to these areas here as well. Maybe a break and retest of this area there, around 40k mark. So yeah, I can see some downside coming up for Bitcoin. Just want to see a little bit more retracement before getting involved. AUD CAD thoughts, yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at that now. Reaching monthly support. Let's go in the monthly, see what the monthly's saying. Okay, so yes, we've seen a big push to the downside here for AUD CAD. We're coming back into this area here, which was prior resistance, now turning support. So yeah, I think for AUD CAD, we could be ready for a big move to the upside for this pair. It's quite common price action here, where we do see price when it wants to have a bit of a reversal. It does have that last little push, come back, and then retest, then the continuation, and comes back and retest that resistance there, now turns support. And this is kind of what AUD-CAD's doing now, or is what AUD-CAD's doing now. Well, we don't know yet. If it does have that bounce, then yes, it could actually break through. But yeah, we do have that push, the pullback, the dump to the downside, big push back up again, and now coming back into that area for the first time. So yeah, if AUD-CAD can respect this from a monthly point of view, then yes, we could be seeing that long-term trend back into these highs, and probably even further than that. So yeah, we're coming into that area, and I do think ADCAD, you know, if we can hold this, we'll probably see some big moves to the upside. Obviously, if I just conclude this general area of price action as well, because you can see we've got all these candles coming in the wicks as well. So we'll come back into a general area of support, this kind of region there. But if you want to get more specific, more detailed, it's probably that level there that the price is going to be focusing on. So yeah, higher time frame point of view, we're coming to a nice area. If we go into the lower time frames, we're still looking quite bearish. You can see on the weekly point of view, quite bearish as well. Probably nail that down, that level down to this area here. So there's the resistance as well, support there as well. So yeah, we're coming into a nice key area. 0.91 is the area to mark. But do remember, it is monthly support. It's a monthly support, so potentially we could even push through, you know, far as here, even to 0.9, then spike back up, because it is 19th of August right now. We've just gone past halfway of this month. You know, a lot can happen in the last half or last week of the month. So we could see next week push all the way through, and then the following week pull back up again. So you do have to be aware of that. If we're looking at higher time frames and the base our support from a monthly point of view, we've got to wait for monthly candles to close to, you know, to find out whether that support is holding or not. So do be aware of that. We could push a lot through it, then pull back and still hold that level. On the daily, you know, we're still quite bearish on this one. So if you're talking about monthly support, you're obviously waiting for the higher time frame. So yeah, I'll probably wait for daily and weekly to start lining up for some buys, and then yeah, I think it's time for ADCAD to see that reversal sooner or later anyway. So yeah, from this area it does look good, and then yeah, it could be a big buy to the upside. Yeah, sure thing. Happy to help. Happy to help. USD still looking very bullish here, still pushing to the upside. Like I said, a bit of retracement from this one, and I think we could be pushing it a lot further. Yeah, price is looking like it could push a lot further for this one. Take out that wick there and push through as well. No, well, yes. I don't enter off the daily time frame, but I do use the high time frames to help develop my bias. So I use the daily time frame to like know which direction I'm trading in, and then I'll use the lower time frames to confirm that direction with the structure, and then I'll look to enter on those lower time frames. So my daily is like my directional time frame, and then the lower time frames I use to um, execute and exit trades. I'll go through the USD one I did this week, to be fair. So yeah, USD I was actually looking at sells for USD this week, to be fair, because if I go on the daily time frame, you can see that price here was actually looking quite bearish at the start of the week. We had this dump. Well, this is obviously not the start of the week, but we have this nice dump, pull back, dump again, and we will start pulling back. So I was looking for price to have that another rollover to the downside, back into that support from a daily point of view. So my daily bias, the direction I was expecting the daily to go in for USD was the downside at the start of the week, back down to this support. So I was looking for selling opportunities. So if we go in the 4H, going the full H, you can see the week started here, it started pushing to the upside, so I was waiting for an opportunity to sell. Now I was looking at this resistance here, not much happened, and I was looking at this resistance here, again not much happened. We just broke through all those levels there for USD CAD. So at that point I said to myself, if USD CAD starts to hold above 1.26, which is this prior high here, as you can see, dump consolidation formed that high, dump to the downside. This is the last major high. We broke above it and then we started holding that as support. So I said if the market does hold that and I see a daily close above this level as well, I'll change my bias to bulls and expect to see the market push up. So on I think that was Tuesday. On Tuesday, yeah, we did see the daily close above. So I knew by then price is holding above this level. So then I scaled down to low time frames, looking for the break and retest. Price was forming this support here, and then I got involved on this candle there. Had my stop loss below the level, of course, and then yeah, I pushed it into this level there, which is this area of supply around 1.26800. So that was the trade. Obviously, you can see it's gone a lot further than that. I mean, I was expecting, because if the market wasn't going to head to the downside, the likely move was the daily was going to push back to the highs up here, but I wasn't too sure, so I didn't look to hold the trade out that much. But if I was going to try and be a bit more aggressive, I'd probably look to take out that wick there, but I only aimed for this area here, and price is still pushing on. So yeah, it's just using the daily as my directional bias. So waiting for the daily candles to close, drawing key levels on the daily, seeing which are holding, which are not, and then just scaling down to the hourly. Sometimes I even scale down to the 15-minute as well if I really want to pick my entry there. This one I just used the hourly time frame, but I could have got down to the 15 as well. But yeah, it's just using the daily as my direction and then scaling down to pick my entry, which I find is probably the best strategy for me, because it gives me extra confidence in the trade, because I used to not really use the daily too much and just look at the hourly, 15-minute and then buy. But then a lot of times when I scale out and just look at the bigger picture, I can see why my trade failed, because I've got this, I don't know, massive bearish candle on the daily and I'm trying to buy the pair. The momentum is definitely with the bears on the higher time frame, so I can see why it did continue. So yeah, for me the best way I like trading is definitely using the daily time frame as my bias. And a lot of people think the daily is like really slow, and they don't look at it because it takes 24 hours for the candle to close. But at the same time, it's not really slow at all, because even though I'm using the daily, I'm trading on the hourly stroke 15-minute, which is a very quick time frame. So I've just got the daily in the back of my mind, but I'm not trading the daily, I'm trading the lower time frame. So it's definitely something to look into. I mean, you can use the daily not even as a swing trade, even as the low time frames. Like for this case example, we broke through that resistance there, closed above. You could have just said, okay, I've got a bullish bias here for the daily, I'm going to scale down to, I don't know, the 5-minute time frame, and wait for a pullback or something, wait for price to form like a higher low. So you can see it push there, from the higher low, scaling in the 5-minute, and then buy it up, and then you got a massive trade there. So it doesn't have to be a swing trade, it can just be a quick trade, but definitely higher time frames will help, because it shows you where the momentum is and where the money is in the market as well. And yeah, sure thing, you can start a demo account, start trying swing trading there before you take it into a real account. Yeah, and just see it's for you, because swing trading is not for everyone, because you do need a little bit of patience for it. And on the low time frames, everything's quite fast paced, and the next opportunities are literally around the corner. Whereas swing trading, I'm not really taking a trade every single day, probably average around 3 or 4 a week. 4 if there's a lot of trades, 3 is probably more the average. I think this week I've only taken 3. Last week probably took 3 as well, maybe 4. So it's not fast paced. But the thing is, swing trading can be different as well. Some swing traders like to hold for 2-3 weeks. Some hold for a couple of days. I'm like in between. I'm like 3, 4, maybe 5 days for a trade maybe. but sometimes I can even hold for a day as well. I mean, intraday trading can feel it, yeah, it can feel like gambling, but the thing about intraday trading, I think it's actually harder than swing trading as well, because with intraday trading, you have to really be on, on your ball, really be focused, because with um, with low time frame trading, there's entries literally everywhere, especially with the amount of pairs you can look at. Like on my live stream, I go through like 20 pairs. If I just scale down to the 50 minute, I bet for almost all those 20 pairs during the stream, I could have find probably an entry, not an entry, a potential trade. For almost every one of those pairs, a good at least 10, I'll probably find trades. So if I've got 10 potential trades, obviously I'm excited. You can lead to over trading, and then yeah, it will feel like gambling because you've got so many entries, you're not sure which one you pick, and it's a bit like a toss the coin, which one you pick. Do you pick this one or do you pick that one? So I think with lower time frame trading, you have to really not look at so many pairs, kind of widen it down to a few pairs, like four, five, six, and just stay to those pairs and just trying to trade those in low time frame, so you can actually be a bit more focused as well and not have your attention um, scattered on different pairs. But yeah, because there's so many like fluctuations, there's so many different things you can do on the low time frames. Where the higher time frames, you have to be a bit more patient, wait for the setup to happen, and you have to wait for your entry. And then you might not even get an entry, so that might just that trade might just leave without you, or it might not be a trade of entry. So there's a lot more sit back waiting, which is good, because if you think about it, what's your ideal lifestyle in 5, 10 years? Are you waking up in the morning really early, spending 5 hours on the chart looking for potential trade in the lower time frames, waiting for that to happen, or you more chill back, holding a trade overnight, maybe over the weekend, going on the lap or going on your computer when you want to. You don't have to rush to the computer. You go on the computer when you decide to, and that lifestyle is a bit more swing trading than intraday trading. So you have to think about that in the future as well. Obviously, you could be intra trading now and then scale to the swing trading eventually, but I think long term swing trading is definitely the better option for a lot of people as well, because it also gives you a bit more time during the day as well. Still have to put the work in, of course, back testing and all that good stuff. But yeah, intraday trading is just it's quite, yeah, it's just a lot to do. I mean, I've done it, but then I quickly changed to swing trading, and yeah, I've been doing that quite some time now. I mean, during this when I first started doing the streams, I was only trading the 4H time frame. I was only taking my trades in the 4H time frame, so that was a lot slower than what I'm doing now. Now I can go hourly in 15, but when I first started doing my streams, I was only taking trades on the 4H time frame. So imagine, four candles in the 4H time frame. That's 16 hours. That's a lot of time. Whereas 16 hours on an hour time frame, that's 16 candles. That's a lot of trading. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. That's why I prefer swing trading, and it's also less stress in my opinion as well, because if you think about it, when you're trading, when you're in a trade, you're quite, you've got that burst of dopamine. You've got, you're quite excited because you want to see if this trade will work, or you're nervous because you don't want it to fail as well. So you've got that, that adrenaline boost inside of you. It's not massive, but you still do have that kind of like little feeling when you do take a trade, seeing it go in your direction, you're seeing it, fly in your direction. You're excited, you're happy, and when you trade in the low time frames, you take a lot of trades. You have that feeling all the time, and it can be quite draining as well. Whereas swing trading, you take your time. You know that okay, it might take a day or two to come to actually work if it is going to work. So that means you got your time to yourself, and you can actually spend it doing other stuff. I'm not saying trading's not fun, because I do enjoy trading a lot, but there's a lot of other stuff that I do like doing as well. and I don't want trading to take that time away from that other stuff. So that's why I prefer swing trading. But I do understand intraday trading. When if it works for you and you're good at it, then you know why change. I think intraday trading is probably the more popular out of swing trading as well. It's probably the most popular style of trading. To be fair, a lot of people on social media are intraday traders as well. So I can understand it, but yeah, it's just not for me. Entity CAD. Entity CAD. So yeah, Entity CAD is looking good for some short-term buys. On Entity CAD, I do expect to see price push back down to these lows here because it looks like we are failing to break through this resistance, and we're starting to create these higher lows here. Higher lows, no, lower highs here. So that's the first wick, second wick, third wick. And as you can see, we're starting to form these lows. So I do expect to see Entity CAD eventually push to the downside, back down to these lows here. But first, we're coming back into this price support here, and we're seeing some nice bounce from that area. So I do think Entity CAD, if we do maintain this support, which it does look like we're doing, I think Entity CAD will see some nice upside for this pair for today. Again, I'll probably be waiting to sell this pair, so I'm not looking to get involved in the buys. But the buys are looking good, so you could buy that back up and sell it back down again. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, we're maintaining that support there. A little bit of a trend line here, bearish trend line. Oh, a little bit of a bearish trend line here. If I can just connect those levels there, so do have to watch out for a little bit of that. But if I think we can take that out, then yeah, I think Entity CAD to the upside, maybe back into this level here, this high here, where we had that false break. So around the 0.87500, might pull back into there. And then from there, Entity CAD might come down again. So I think some short-term buys for Entity CAD look good, coming back into a nice area of support. But yeah, do be aware the higher time frames look like it might be turning bearish soon. So if it does look like it's turning bearish, I'll probably look to get in some sales for that one. But I think some short-term buys to the upside, then take it back down after that. So yeah, Entity CAD, some a little bit of upside, and then downside after that. Yeah, that is true to be fair. I thought it was a bit higher than that. I think it's like 95% of traders fell, to be fair. I mean, but yeah, you have to start somewhere. Think of it. If everyone's starting trading, everyone started trading with no knowledge of trading. So everyone was in that 90%. And obviously some people, just give up and do something else. And some people, keep going. And then eventually they get out of the 90% into the 10%. So yeah, it's definitely a journey. It's definitely a journey. But yeah, think about it. If it was easy, it wouldn't be 90% traders fail, it'd be 90% traders winning. So it's definitely difficult, and I think a lot of it's down to not really technical ability. It's not like how much you know about the charts. It's like how much do you know about yourself, really, because a lot of it is just a lack of discipline and lack of knowledge about your psychology, and that was the big thing for me, which I needed to break, because like my technicals have been quite good for quite some time now, but it's definitely been my psychology that's been holding me back. So I've had to really learn about my emotions, how to control them, and how to implement more discipline into my trading, which is the hard thing. But yeah, I think a lot of that 90% is just down to psychology. I think out of the 90%, the people that have the skills to actually trade the market successfully is probably about the vast majority of them. I'll probably say about 75% of that 90% could probably trade the market successfully, but due to their emotions and lack of consistency, lack of discipline, they're part of the 90% that fail because they can't. Because once you lose a trade, you have that slight bit of revenge inside of you that cooks up when you lose that trade, and you think, yeah, let me just take another one so I can make it back, and then that becomes another loser, and that becomes a habit, and it's difficult to get out of that habit as well. Very difficult. So yeah, I think a lot of people just take a break from back testing and strategies and all that, and just focus on yourself. Write down when you take a loss, what happens to you. Do you feel anger? Do you feel revenge? Do you feel sad? Or do you have or are you very neutral? But if you're very sad, okay, what's the best thing to do? Is it okay, look at what happened there, or is it get away from the charts, spend an hour doing something else, do some exercise, relieve that tension, then come back and look what happened to that trade and see if you made a mistake or it just was a losing trade, and then we trade again the following day? Or is it okay, when I take a loss, I'm quite neutral, I'm quite good, I'm quite balanced, so yes, I'm fit enough to take another trade with a focused mind, and I don't have that that revenge aspect in my thoughts. So a lot of me, when I was taking a trade and I took a loss, a lot of the time I would be on revenge mode, trying to get that percentage back, that loss from my capital. So the best thing for me was just to leave it, come back at the end of the day, review my trade, and start back again tomorrow. And just doing that alone saved me from so many losses. And it's not because didn't have the technical knowledge to spot when a trade was forming or when I should be in the trade and I should not be trading. It's because my emotions were controlling me, making me getting into trades that I know I shouldn't be in. So the best thing for me was just get away from the charts. And it's actually very difficult to get away from charts as well. It's actually very difficult to get away from the charts because at the end of the day, no one's your boss. That's the thing about trading. You're your own boss. No one's going to tell you, hey, get away from the charts. You've taken a loss, take a breather, then come back. No one's going to tell you that. The only person that's going to tell that is you. And that's difficult, but you can just say, nah, I'm just going to listen, I'm going to trade. So, yeah, once you understand your weaknesses, then you can start playing to your strengths. But yeah, it's difficult to do that. It's difficult. Yeah, revenge trading is so bad, and I think a lot of people don't know they're doing it as well. It took a lot of time to realize that I was actually revenge trading. I just thought I was just trading, but no, I was literally revenge trading. Yeah, it do be like that. You start setting, crazy take profits, trying to make, all the money back. Revenge trading is so bad, and over trading as well. But I think over trading comes from revenge trading a little bit because you're over trading to make up for the money you've lost. Actually, sometimes over trading comes up just because you're overconfident as well. To be fair, yeah. But yeah, revenge trading is so bad. And it's funny because it sounds so simple, just stop it, just stop revenge trading, but you can't. You really have to drag yourself out there. To be fair, if you think about it, it's a bit like a gambling addiction, really. Because you think about it, if we take away the Forex element and the technical analysis, all of that, and just put ourselves, I don't know, in like a sports bookie, where where you go bet on sports and stuff. You take one bet, you bet on one team to win, they lose, oh, I want to make it back, I'll bet on something else, try to make it back. And people, when they have that sort of habit and they keep trying to make their money back in betting, that's classified as a betting addiction and they need help and they have a problem. But with trading, it's not seen like that. It's just you're a bad trader, but it is a little bit of a betting addiction, really. So you have to kind of control that. But yeah, wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any other way, because it is a good, when things start clicking, it is a good feeling. But also you still have to be on your ball to keep them clicking, because one stupid decision and you could be back in the red really easily. But yeah, where do you have next level support? Pound USD. Yeah, next level support for pound USD is this area here, so 1.36 psychological level there, maybe just a little bit above it, 1.36100. But yeah, this is the next level support I'm looking at for pound USD to head to. It does look good. I think we can hit that target by the end of the week potentially, especially if we do see some momentum coming in the New York session. Like I said, I do think we've got some news coming out for the US dollar at 1:30 GMT, if I remember correctly. Yes, we do. So yeah, we do have some US dollar news, high impact. I'm not too sure how big of a push it will be. We'll find out. But yeah, that could give pound USD another kick to the downside. If that does happen, maybe by the end of today, really, we could be at 1.36 down there. So yeah, I'm looking at more downside for pound USD. It hasn't seen much retracement since that drop this morning. We've seen that bullish candle there, a bit of stalling there during the night. We come to the downside as well. So that move to the upside is still on the cards for retracement. But nonetheless, I feel like pound USD back down to 1.36 is looking good for that pair. So yeah, more downside for pound USD. Let's see how USDJPY is doing. USDJPY is retracing a little bit. It's coming back into that level. Well, almost came back into that level. Just missed it by a few pips. So hopefully we can get a bit more retracement there. Again, still early doors for that retracement. We want to see a little bit more than that, a bit more than just one wick. But it's showing signs that we're finding some resistance and we could be on our way back down again. So that's a good sign. So maybe late today there could be something there for USDJPY, or maybe tomorrow morning. Hopefully it doesn't move overnight again like it did last night. But if I can get something in London tomorrow, that would be nice. Gold, what you doing, gold? Gold is still at that resistance there. Yeah, it's not looking good for gold. I mean, it's still holding it. We've got about 4 minutes left. So, a bullish candle doji. See a big bearish candle, that would be nice. But yeah, I'm not liking that bullish momentum there for gold. So, like I said, if we break through this, I'll scale that position and just exit. Not wait for the stop loss, because I think if we break through that resistance anyway, there's a good chance price is likely just to come back and retest this resistance here, and then it could just wick out slightly just to take out that high, and my stop loss is literally just right above that, so it will be coming for my stop loss there. So if it does break through that resistance, I'll let things be. If we do come back up again, reject this level here, start looking bearish again, then I'll look just to get back involved in the trade. There's nothing wrong with exiting and getting back involved. So yeah, if that does happen, I'll look to get back involved there for gold. But if it does break through that, then I'll just exit the trade and focus more on USDJPY, some sales on that one. Seems a nice wick rejection there, but I need a little bit more than that to get involved. But it is looking good for some sales for USDJPY. Pound JPY still looking bearish. We've had a nice break and retest of that level there, so maybe you could see some conviction coming to the downside now. Pound CHF pulling back up a little bit there. CHF JPY looking quite bearish there. CAD JPY looking bearish as well. Euro JPY bearish. So yeah, it's clear to see JPY is definitely strong this morning. Well, coming to afternoon now for me. So yeah, definitely seeing some JPY strength. But I think that will probably continue for the rest of the week, for the rest of Thursday and Friday. Might see some periods of weakness, but I think that's just going to be retracement on the lower time frames, and I'm just going to see that continuation to Friday. But yeah, we haven't really seen so much retracement this week for a lot of the JPY pairs. As you can see, a big dump and then the continuation. So I think next week we might be seeing some big retracement coming up for the sell-off, because normally when you do see big dumps like that, it means that we're going to have aggressive retracement and then the sell-off. So You can see if I just zoom out a little bit, you can see massive dump to the downside, aggressive retracement, massive dump to the downside, aggressive retracement. So we do see a lot of that, big dump, aggressive retracement, big dump, semi-aggressive retracement there. So yeah, a big dump again, probably see a big retracement and then sell off again. So there could be some nice buys next week, but definitely wait for the confirmation. Oh, subscriber, love to see that. Welcome to the family. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, and like always, guys, well, actually, you've got about 3 minutes left. So if any of you want me to take a look at any charts or anything, feel free to share, drop it down in the chat. I'm about to end the live stream in a little bit, so quickly squeeze in some few more charts we'll take a look at for the rest of the day. But yeah, we're looking bearish on a lot of these JPY pairs. So I think for next week, if you can find some support, we could see some nice retracement coming in for those pairs. But yeah, I think for the rest of the week here, we'll probably just see those pairs continue to sell off there. And yeah, I would not be looking for buys for them. But yeah, use JPY, looking at those. Gold is just flirting with the idea, but we'll see what happens there for gold. USD CAD still looking very, very bullish there. Pound USD still looking bearish. Euro USD in retracement still. Euro clearly has some slight strength about it. Euro JPY hasn't fell too much, but pound JPY has really started to fall. Euro pound still looking strong. So again, like I said, for Euro pound, if you do see a daily close above that trend line, that's the first daily close you've had since then. And as you can see, that was a false breakout there. So maybe we're actually having the actual breakout now. And if we are having the actual breakout, I do expect to see a push to those highs up there. So Euro pound could see a lot of momentum coming in soon, especially with the price action like this. All choppy just means price is building up for a big move. You can see here, price was choppy here, similar price action to what we had now, this kind of channel here. And as you can see, a big move to the upside. So I think for Europe, and again here, to be fair, Euro GBP does do this a lot of the time. That's very poorly drawn. If I just do that again, very choppy channel there, big move to the upside. So I think we could be seeing that happen again for Euro GBP with this channel here as well. And if we are breaking to the upside, then targets will be these highs up there, 0.87. So Euro pound is one to watch for the people at some long-term trades to the upside. But I think on the lower time frames, if you see some nice pullbacks to the upside, do look good for Euro pound. What price action would I see of a real breakout? Simply just a break and retest, really. Because for this one, because there's sometimes when you do see a breakout, sometimes you don't get the retest. So say that's resistance here and price is just dancing with it. And sometimes you just do that massive move there. If that happens, yeah, I'm just not going to get involved. But if price can come and break through it and start holding that as support, then yeah, that's a confirmed breakout for me. It's nothing revolutionary. It's just the break and retest, because as you can see for this one, when we saw the breakout here of the trend line, you can see we broke out, didn't have the retest. So as soon as I saw this candle close back below, I was getting ready for some sales to take it back down, because I knew that was just a false break. Now I've seen price close above, so that's giving me the first signal I want for a break. And now if you can continue, come back. It might not retest, but if it can push up, form a higher low somewhere, so it doesn't have to retest the trend line, but if it can form a higher low somewhere, then yeah, that to confirm me a confirmed break. And then yeah, I'll look to scale into some longs there as well. So first I want to see you close above the level, above the trend line, whatever I want to see a break of, and then I'll wait for either the higher low to be formed, or a retest of the thing that's broke. So it will be the trend line. This one, as you can see, there's no higher low getting formed, just straight push back down and no retest either. So either one, preferably I'd like to see a retest, but if we don't get that, because sometimes breakouts really push on, then it forms the high low here, and at that point you don't expect to see the retest. If it does come all the way down, it's likely to be a false breakout anyway. So yeah, confirm close above, retest of that or a high low, then that for me is confirmed break there. But anyway, guys, it is coming to the end of the stream. Like always, going to do a quick rundown of some of the pairs that look good for the rest of the week / coming into next week, and then yeah, I'll end the stream on that. So yeah, euro pound, basically to what I've said. Could be seeing a big move back up to 0.87 and wait for the daily candle to close, and then we'll make our judgment from that. But it's looking good for some more longs for euro pound if we can stay above. So yeah, nothing today. Wait for the daily candle closure. They will know to see if we can see some more continuation. Euro USD, like I said, for this one, still seeing a drop back down to 1.16200. We do have prior support, so we're just scroll away, support there, support there, support there. So we might be doing a break and retest of that and the continuation, and I think that could be looking good. Used JPY looking good as well, looking for some retracement back down again. Again, like I said, I see used JPY back at these lows here, so firmly fixed on those shorts there, and I think we could be seeing a real nice trade there for used JPY. I'm not sure we've done this week though, so it might be a Friday trade taken into next week, so do be aware of that. But again, guys, if I do get any valid setups from these pairs, I will let you guys know in the Telegram, so feel free to go check that out. And lastly, my trade that I'm in right now, gold, which looks like it could be breaking through that. Yeah, I'll probably look to exit gold if it does break through that anyway. All that momentum there. I did have a short, well, I still do have a short position from here. My stop just above that wick, looking for a push into that level there. But as you can see, we've seen some nice momentum to the downside, but gold just hasn't really sustained that, and we're pushing back into here. So if it does break through that, I'll look to exit that and get out of that trade and look to focus on USDJPY short. So if I do get a trade on USDJPY, I'll let you guys know and take that back again down to 108,700. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, that is the end of the stream, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it, found it useful. Can take some value away from the stream. That would be great if you guys can do that, and if I provide that to you. If you want to see more of the stream, more of the same content, hit the subscribe button. Let me know that you enjoy it. Leave a comment down below. That would be great. And also drop a like on the video as well if you did enjoy it. That helps the channel out a lot and does also help me out as well. So thanks if you do that. But yeah, guys, hope you all have a great week. Have a great day. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.